welcome to my 500th scope, which is quite exciting. I'm going to have tea and cake to celebrate later. So at the moment I'm in the graveyard, which is Hollywell Cemetery, and this is where Thomas Randall, who was believed it was who Lewis Carroll based the Mad Hatter on. Hello, Marlborough. Unfortunately, I'm unable to find his grave because there's just so many here and it's not listed on the plan. I've got a guidebook and it's supposed to look like that, but as you can see there's, hello, there's quite a lot of crosses here. So I'm not going to be able to find his grave, but I found his graveyard. So this is the Mad Hatter's graveyard. He's here somewhere. Hello. Thank you for the heart. So I actually haven't been in this graveyard before. So I've been to the graveyard next to it, but not this one. So this is, falling over everything. Yeah, there is a plan, but it's, as you can see, it's quite overgrown, and they haven't got the Mad Hatter's grave marked. So, but don't worry, because we're off on the trail of a dodo next. And as you know, for Lewis Carroll, the Alice in Wonderland book, dodo was an important thing in his story. So, so that's where we're going next, off to have a look at for the dodo. So for those of you who didn't watch my first scope, hello, on Alice in Wonderland, verse 2, because I accidentally muddled it up. Alice in Wonderland was written by Charles Dodgson, who wrote under the pseudonym, the pen name of Lewis Carroll. And he was born in 1832 in Cheshire, and he studied in Christchurch, which I've taken you around before. So, then he went on to become a maths teacher there, and he stayed there for the rest of his life. And then Henry Liddell, who was the father of Alice, from who the books Alice in Wonderland are based on, was the dean. And I was just reading somewhere that they think the dean was the White Rabbit because he was always late for appointments. So we're heading off now towards the Natural History Museum, where we can see the dodo and Darwin and things. So Lewis Carroll was born in Cheshire, the eldest boy of 11 children, and he included himself in the book as the dodo, so that's why it's so important. Because it was an abbreviation of his real name. Hello, thank you for sharing it on Twitter, you're very kind. There was a real Mad Hatter, yes. His name was Thomas Randall, and he had a shop in town, and I found it today. It's just been renovated. I was speaking to the builders, and we'll go and see that last. Don't worry, I know where it is now. So I'll just fill you in. Cool, yeah. So I'll just fill you in. Well, it's quite a walk to the Natural History Museum. So while we're walking, I'll just fill you in on the history of the Lewis Carroll Alice in Wonderland book. Yeah, well, it was a book character, but it was based on the real tailor and the hatter. And he liked to be called the Hatter. And he did make hats too. And he was a very jolly person. And he went on to be the mayor of Oxford as well. So one of the other main characters that was a real character was the Red Queen. And that was based on Mary Pricklet, who was Alice's, the real girl Alice. I don't know about Batman, I only know about Alice in Wonderland, sorry. And she became the landlady in the Mitre pub for 50 years after she became married. So Thomas Randall, who was the name of the person who was the Mad Hatter, or the Jolly Hatter. Yes, that's right. The real Mad Hatter became Mayor of Oxford. That's politics for you. He became the mayor in 1859. So we're going to be walking on So I'm always out of breath when I'm doing these scopes. So we'll go to number 22 High Street, where his shop was, and he lived from 1825 to 1864. Yeah, I know, it's very worrying about politics, isn't it? I'm not going to get involved. So I was just telling you a bit about that. If you look at my other two scopes, I went past the botanical gardens, because Lewis Carroll was a very keen photographer, and he took lots of pictures of Alice and her sisters, and I'll be showing you where his camera equipment is later. You can't go in and film in there because they're a bit funny. So this is no, this isn't Harris Merrill's shop. Sorry, I was getting muddled up. So anyway, yeah, it's quite interesting, the Botanic Garden. If you look back on my old scope, it's built on an old Jewish graveyard cemetery. And anyway, so we're going on to the Natural History Museum to see the dodo. And this museum was built in 1860, and it was a celebration as well of Darwin, who brought out his book, The Origin of Species. And there is a statue to Darwin, and apparently 2 stone monkeys quite near it, and I haven't ever seen the stone monkey, so that'll be interesting to look out for. So at the moment we're just walking past the sports field and the cricket field. It's a new college school, and Lineker College on this side here. I've never scoped in there. I'm not sure you can, actually. I'm not sure. So we're coming back past some of the buildings. Oh, thank you for the heart. Sorry for me so out of breath. That's an entrance to South Park's over there. And this is the William Dunn School here of Medicine, straight ahead. My ex-husband used to work there because he's a scientist. But now he lives somewhere else with his fiancée, so there we go. So Lewis Carroll was a keen photographer, and when the debate was on about the origin of species, he actually photographed many of the really important people who came to that. Beautiful gates. So that's the William Dunn School there. Over here is physiology and zoology. So we're going to come up and we're going to have a look. It's still away. We're on South Park Road, by the way, if any of you are looking. So the Natural History Museum has got the head and a foot of a dodo, which is the most complete soft tissue remains anywhere of this extinct world. So they've got a mock-up of a dodo as well, like a model. It looks really realistic. So we're going to come up, and on this side is the back entrance to the Pitt Rivers Museum, where I used to work, and also because they're joined onto each other, Pitt Rivers and the Natural History. Do you like things? Yes, I do. I do love Alice in Wonderland. I remember when I first as a child and I heard the story, and it's never left me. It's like my favourite book, and it inspired me to write my Paradox Child series, where my main character is a young girl of 11, and she doesn't go down a rabbit hole, but she goes down to the bottom of the Pitt Rivers Museum under a secret cover to a magical garden. So very similar, really. So we're just coming up to the end of South Park Road, Centre for Environment there, and sorry to sound so out of breath. Most people have got it easy. They're on a tour bus. They just have to sit on the bus to walk everywhere. That's the chemistry department straight ahead. School of Chemistry. It's also geography and archaeology. It doesn't say that there, but it is. And chemistry research. and the American Institute just down there. So up ahead is the place where my brain's gone completely dead. Hang on. Einstein. He gave some lectures there about the speed of light and this building ahead. And one of the chalk boards that he did the lecture on, writing out an equation, is on display in the Natural History Museum. No, on display in the Science Museum. So that's the back entrance to the Pitt Rivers there. Chemistry building, inorganic chemistry, this one. I'm trying to think of the name of this building. I know it so well. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Ashlyn. 500 scopes, and I think you probably attended most of them with me. So you know I have these mind blanks now and again. As soon as they come off, I remember the name of it. Lucky it's got its name, but that's it, Rhodes House, from the South African, and it's got a beautiful, beautiful garden, and I will take you scoping in there. I took you there last year, scoping the garden. So we're going to cross over in a minute. I'm in store but wanted to come and say hi. Oh, thanks Ashlyn. Sending you lots of love. Thank you for the hearts. Watch it on replay and see the dodo. Are you disconnected? Oh, sorry. Hopefully when I get in the university I'll be able to pick up on theirs. Do you travel to see Alan? No, I don't travel much. Hello England, love from Russia. Sounds like a James Bond film. So, no, I live here, so I live by the train station. Just going to cross now, and we're coming up to the Natural History Museum, and I'll be able to show you the Darwin and also the dodo. So Lewis Carroll included himself as the dodo at the Alice in Wonderland stories because his real name was Dodgson, and it sounded a bit like dodo. And he sort of, if you know, is in the pool of tears part of the story. He's sort of taking the mickey out of himself on that a bit as the dodo. Also travel around, but no, I don't travel anywhere. I'd love to. I need sponsorship. Sponsor me and I'll travel around. So we're going to go and have a look at the painting of a dodo as well. That was done in 1651, and the dodo itself became extinct in 1680. So, let's just go that way. You can see. And opposite is Keble College, which I have periscoped, which has got the famous light showing the end of the world religious picture in it. So hopefully once we get in here, I might pause. If I go quiet for a bit, it's because I'm sorting out my internet connection, because they've got free Wi-Fi here, so it might help a bit. Hello, we're just about to go and find Lewis Carroll's dodo. So I don't want to stop and start again because it's my 500th scope.